Hello and welcome to another. Hello and welcome to another MrBetaByte video, and this one's a little bit different insofar as I'm hoping we can get this finally up and running. So this is part 6 of the Panasonic NV-V8000, and we have video faults, all sorts of weird stuff going on there with probably capacitors, but I have to do this relatively blind because I don't have the extender cables, as I've mentioned previously in part 5. So I'm going to take this out. We'll go through some caps to see what's going on. I think that pack that I removed in part 5, I think that's where the problem is going to be. It does seem very E to E rather than the actual processing side itself, but we'll go through it, have a look at those caps to see which are bad, obviously bad, and which aren't. It may well end up, which is not really my favorite way of doing things, but it might end up being a total recap, which yeah, not actually really looking forward to that. So yeah, let's crack on. Okay, so I'm going to get this board back out. So that's out, but where do we have the bad cap? And I'd love to think it's on this panel, this pack here. But I mean, look how many capacitors there are. I mean, am I going to recap the lot? I suppose it's not too bad to keep putting in and out, but there's just no way to test this without actually having it in the machine or with those extender cables. It's such a pain. Oh, there's even, I mean, you can see there's even electrolytics down there under that riser board. This is going to be fun. So yeah, just wonder what this test switch does as well. Probably have a look in the manual to see what that actually does do. But yeah, so it goes that way. There's just no way to test it. The leads are so tight. Delay line's a bit stressed as well. But yeah, so I don't know. I think I might start with doing this board. Just go through the caps. It's a double-sided board as well, so there's a bit more care involved with getting these removed, but I have the desoldering station, so yeah, that's cool. So let's crack on. Started recapping this board, and to be honest, I'm not finding anything obviously bad with it, but I was looking at the loom here and I could see extra cabling under here, so I pulled it through and I managed to connect it, and it's the same for all of it. There is enough. This one was tough, but I think I have enough to get onto that board. So I need to get these missing capacitors here. There are 10 microfarad bipolar, 16 volt bipolar capacitors, and I don't have any, so I'm going to have to order those. 1, 2, 3, 4. But I'm very tempted to just leave it as is now. Like I said, I've changed quite a few, but that realization is a real game changer, because it means I can actually now test the boards. Obviously I have to put some insulation underneath to stop it touching the metal, but yeah, I should be able to test this. That is absolutely wonderful. So let's crack on in a few days when those bits arrive. Yeah, cool. So it is actually quite a few days on to like weeks more like, unfortunately. I've just been so busy with work, but those bipolar caps came. I put them in. We're all good. Pretty much all of the caps have been changed on that board for what it's worth. Wires wise, they are getting pulled a bit, but I think we'll get away with it. It's fine. And open up the board, obviously using HF100, Sony HF100 manual as my insulator. So I've plugged it in as well, so I've got input and output. I've got what do I have? I actually have just color bars coming through from the converter, so I've not plugged anything into it, just so we can see what the actual image is like. So let's power it on and see how we get on. Now I am going to need a VVR. I think we're on. Yeah. Video in. So input select front rear line. Oh, don't seem to have anything. It's going to flick them all. Interesting that I have nothing. I just wonder if I have missed something somewhere along the way. I was wondering if I'd missed something here, but no, that is actually supposed to be like that. Oh, I can see a connector that's not quite in at the front there. Just put it off, plug that in, try again. That could be coming from the front panel, maybe. No, it's going right the way back there, so I wouldn't have thought that's it. Well, any of the others are not quite plugged in. Well, looks good. Yeah. Wonder if it's worth us trying a tape. Well, I'm playing back a tape. It is very shaky and all over the place. But I'm putting that down to me still having some sort of capacitor issue. Doesn't seem as bad. Maybe there's progress. I mean, the other thing as well, it's actually quite cold in here. And I do think it is thermal. But yeah, that is not great, is it? I'll do some more investigation and yeah, see what I can find. Let's crack on. Yeah, so I had the same problem. And I've also got a servo issue with a capstan. So there's a still, press play, it oh, actually looks stable now. That's interesting. It was shaking about like anything. Oh, I really don't like intermittence. I wonder if that's because the machine's warmed up. I've probably got a capacitor somewhere in the servo section that's maybe a bit borderline. But that is actually fine now. Oh no, there we go. Starting to jitter about. Does feel a little bit like a capacitor issue. Wondered if maybe we might have a dry on the actual capstan servo chip itself. They don't hang upside down on these because it's on the bottom board, but remember some of the G-Deck machines about this vintage used to have the capstan driver chip hanging from the PCB, and over time they'd run warm, obviously, and things would start to get quite dry jointed. So, and do all sorts of weird and wonderful things. But I don't think that's the case with this. So if I just press pause again, that's solid. So the head drum is fine, and it's not video. It's not part of the video fault. I do still have a video fault, and you can see possibly it's quite a dark scene. But yeah, it'll just go darker and darker and darker until in the end there's just nothing. So yeah, not ideal. So anyway, well, I've whipped the tops off the cans. This one looks a complete nightmare, to be fair. It's in a can and it's soldered in from the other side the can in 4 places, so I'd have to desolder all of that, clean it right up, and then unplug it to get to the right side to check the caps. And to be fair, if I'm going to do that, I'm just going to replace the caps. But yeah, it's not great. So yeah, I'll investigate further and take it from there. You can see it's almost completely black now. So yeah, that's just out of interest. Let's just spray some freezer in there. I don't know. I feel it is capacitors, but I don't think the freezer is going to make any difference. Oh, there we go. Ah, it's that module. Oh, it would have to be, wouldn't it? Oh, this tape's a bit damaged as well. So that's interesting. Let's give it a bit of heat. Yeah, gone dark. Right. Let's just dark. And see if I can be a bit more sort of yeah, so it seems to be somewhere around that chip, maybe. So yeah, I'm going to have to whip that out. So yeah, I'll do that and see what we're up against. And then we'll have a look at that capstan issue. Let's crack on. So it actually came apart, or came off pretty easy from the PCB. Just used solder braid to desolder it, and the 4 tabs went very cleanly. But yeah, We've got lots of caps here, and it sort of stands to reason somewhere around here. It'd be one of these, I think, probably, judging by when I sort of focused where the freezer spray was going. And they are warm, so yeah, that's probably what it's going to be. So I'm going to change the lot. They're all different values. I've got a bipolar one up there as well, which I might not bother with, as it's 50 volts, or it might happen. I don't know. Let's see how I feel. But yeah, so I'll get and change those and take it from there, put it back in, see how we go. So yeah, let's crack on. Oh, but incidentally, it's on plugs, so literally desolder these 4 lugs, and then you can just ease it out. But obviously you need to do a clean job so it does actually ease out properly. But yeah, really cool. Let's crack on. Well, several days have passed, and I now have a fully repaired module. I have used quite a few tantalum capacitors, partly because they fitted, but also I didn't have the correct values in standard electrolytics. I don't think it will cause a problem. Obviously they'll have slightly different characteristics, but we should be okay, I think. That one I've had to lie over because it just didn't have the right physical size case, and the ones I could actually get some, except they're out of stock and like a 15-week lead time, so that wasn't going to happen. But yeah, it's running out of time, I suppose. So let's get the cans on next, and get this plugged back in. Debating whether I'm going to solder it back in just yet. There should be ground. In fact, there is. There's a ground pin there. So in the middle. So I don't necessarily have to solder it in to give it its proper ground. It will be in the fullness of time. Let's push down that little bit there, and then this just plugs back in. Like so. Hopefully that'll it's quite locating right. Yeah, that's in. One of the metal bits wasn't quite going through the board, so obviously a bit of stray solder. So that's on. So I suppose we ought to give it a test, see if that's improved things at all. We've still got the capstan motor, of course, and we do have that E to E problem as well, where I can't seem to input anything. But I am wondering if maybe I am missing a connector from here. I don't know whether that's part of it. Probably have to look at the manual to try and work that out, but yeah, it's a bit concerned about the E to E, to be fair. But yeah, let's crack on. Okay, let's power it on. I've not put a cage on. Oh, yes. No, I'll leave that off. And put the cage back on, or the top on the one bit, but I'm not worried about that at this stage. Okay. Oh yeah, I've got a tape in there, cool. And A heck of a tracking line on it. I don't seem to have any oh, channel change works. I'm sure these did work. I just wonder if maybe I've pulled something out underneath. What we're saying on the front, full size VTR, okay. But like I say, despite the tracking error, it is not fading, which is brilliant. Can I eject? No. Let's turn it off. Let's turn it on again. I'm not quite sure why I've got a tracking line all of a sudden. It's obviously a misalignment there, but yeah, I can't do anything. Gosh, it's really high hours, this front panel. I don't know whether I can. What else I can really check with this? Clock counter works, tape remain. Year 2000 starts at. Oh, tracking seems to work. Okay. If I press both together, does it do an auto? No, it doesn't look like it. Yeah. Got something going on with the tape path there. But the video seems fine now, which is great. So I think really it needs to be aligned. But I'm very tempted just to put this back together for now, and investigate. Problem I've got with that like that, I can't turn the machine over very easily. I don't want to be pulling on these wires. Some of these are really, really tight. And I just don't want all this flapping about. So I need to put that back so I can sort out the capstan and find out what's going on with these buttons. I'm sure they did work. So I wonder if maybe with moving it about and whatever, that's caused a problem. But yeah, it's definite progress. And I'm really pleased we've got the video issues sorted. Capacitor wise, quite a few of them did show signs of being quite nasty, but one, and it was actually quite an unusual one, it was the one I was waiting for in a delivery actually. Leg actually came off a couple of them. Was a 1 microfarad 50 volt, and it actually had like a white residue. I think that's it. 2.2. No, it's a 0.22. 50 volts. That's sort of the sweaty. That wasn't the one though. There was one, and it was just really just a complete mess. A white residue. I can't find it now. It's probably all gooed up. The goo's gone. But yeah, so they certainly needed doing. But apart from some misalignment there, I mean, the whole thing's going to have to be gone through, to be fair, as best I can. And I mean, my big problem is I don't have an official VHS test cassette. I've got all the beta, but I haven't got VHS. So yeah, I suppose I can make one, which would be somewhere near, but it's not ideal. Not an ideal situation when you're trying to do an alignment. But anyway, we'll try and make do with what we have, and at the end of the day, it's a heck of a lot better than when it arrived. So yeah, let's crack on. Well, I'm hoping things might work better on the front panel now. The one side of this particular socket was up. Obviously must have caught it or something. Like I said, I'm sure it did work, but anything's possible, I suppose. But everything else looks fine. And I did just check the capstan driving IC for dry joints just in case, and it's absolutely fine. So yeah, that's okay. I mean, we haven't actually seen any issues with the capstan yet, but obviously we do have some sort of tape path alignment issue going on. But yeah, I think what I'm going to do is just put a screw in so this doesn't keep flapping about, because it's sort of quite vulnerable, and turn it back over and give it a test again. So I put 3 screws in. That'll be enough just to hold it for now, just in case anybody does sort of wonder. The board does actually clip in, but I don't know whether, well, I don't think it's broken, but it's just not the greatest fit, and it just keeps coming adrift from there. I suppose there's quite a bit of weight in the board as it hinges from here, with the cables as well. I mean, it's not, the cables don't push it at all, but I just think it's yeah, it's not very safe. So I'll put those screws in, and yeah, let's give it a try. Okay, so here goes. See if we've got any more luck with things. That's on. Yeah, that's working now. Yeah, so it was just literally on that socket. That one end was sort of not fully pushed home, or I'd caught it. It's easily done, and yeah, that's what caused that. So yeah, that's really cool. So I think the next thing is I need to give this a proper test with the sound, and just find out also if the E to E problem's solved as well. I am getting input, and we'll take it from there. Well, it's working really well. Sorted out the tracking issue. What it was, I've got bad grease basically, so I need to clean up all of this grease and replace it with some new graphite based grease. This guide is not always hitting the going into the V block properly, so yeah, that'll be causing the tracking issue, but otherwise it seems absolutely fine. So if I just press stop, we've got good HiFi audio as well, so let's turn that off. Yeah, we've got snow showing there, so that's a good start. Just how do I rear AV, which I should have, I think, color bars, or maybe not. Yeah, should have some colour bars. Oh, hang on. Technical issue. Yeah. With the wrong connector in, which is always a good start. Is this thing powered on? Yes, PAL. So 9 S-Video via S-Video line AV. So I still don't seem to have a line in, which is a bit weird. Let me just put these together. Yeah, I've had to bodge things a bit around the back because the audio is all the way over there and the video's all the way over here. There is a SCART which brings it all together. I haven't got SCART lead handy though that I can actually plug it into my capture box. So I've had to bodge it with a with a Y splitter. But yeah, it's all good fun. But I just don't seem to have any AV coming through. Actually, what I should be able to do, because this is a Y splitter, excellent camera work there. I should be able to just unplug that, put that to there. I should get colour bars. Yes, I do. So I know that's working. So plug that in the back, and I know the furthest one from this side is video out, this one's video in. So yeah, I don't have video in signal. I mean, the other thing, just while I think about it, I actually managed to put this in without having to undo any of the connectors, and I should be able to lift this out now without undoing any of the connectors. I think the cables are just badly routed, because like I said, I think this board's been swapped out as well. Badly routed and they were getting caught. So yeah, you can just lift it up as long as you've got something to insulate it just in case. It's actually relatively easy to work on, so that's good. Let's press play. That's not bad. There's sort of minimal lineage on there. This tape is a little bit on the worse for wear as well. It's been well loved. Should get perfect still. Almost perfect still. I think that might be V-lock. Don't know how. Don't know if you can advance on the actual front panel or not. That's better. So that's not a bad still at all. And I'm just really pleased I got the video working so well, to be fair. So yeah, we are getting really close to finishing this off, which is brilliant. So we've just got that line in issue. It looks like the tuner. Oh yeah, it's going to snow. Am I missing something like really daft? Like, do I have to AV, so AU on the front display. Rear. Well, I saw it for a second. There it is. Oh, I see. S-video line, right, okay. So rear AV, which would be the SCART, and then S-video or line is the line out input. A couple words out. But you've got to put the channel onto AV or AU, because it's what it is. So yeah, so that is working. So everything is sort of working. Super. So I think what I need to do, well, I need to grease this. I need to sort this out. So let's just press, if you press power off, and you'll see what it's doing. So turn it on, press play. It just doesn't quite push into the V block. There we go, that's now into the V block. So, and it's the gentlest of pushes, but it's just so dry, I think. So yeah, I'll grease it up and we'll see if that improves things. If not, we might just have to have a look at the timing. Maybe it's a cog out. Needs just a little bit more assistance, sort of getting fully home. Check it this side. Well, we can just check it, because obviously if you move it a cog over to give it a bit more force to get it into the V block, it's not going to be right back here, and you're going to find it's going to snag the tape when you put the cassette in, and it's wrong. So yeah, I'll do some investigation and we'll take it from there. Well, I've put the bottom cover on and the front sort of plastic trim underneath, so that's all good to go. I haven't put the top on yet. The plan is I'm going to run it for a while and just make sure everything is properly working, and then I'll probably just check basically the video side of the alignment, and just fine-tune the deck alignment. I mean, it all seems absolutely fine, to be honest. I did re-grease this with some graphite grease and a couple of unlaces and laces, and it's lacing perfectly. It's absolutely fine, consistently good, even with that tape right at the beginning, where you get sort of maximum torque on this side. It's absolutely fine. So that is superb. So the next thing I think is to try a VHS-C cassette. So subject that. And then I still find this amazing, especially if it works. Okay, so
setting the manual white balance, putting a sheet of white.
2006 home produced film from, I think it's a glazing company, so yeah, but yeah, that seems absolutely fine. I don't think there's any hi-fi audio on it, but yeah, that's absolutely fine.
We won't be able to record in total darkness. Oh, they put the lights out. You can see some blink.
Yeah, super. So what if I press this? Nothing happens. What's on the front? Yeah, so it's saying compact on the front. But yeah, pressing that with that in, I just wondered if it might eject the cassette and then put that up, but no. So let's eject that. And then change that over. And put that back in. Press play. So that's looking good. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to fast forward this tape on because I want to keep this sort of problems bit at the beginning. It's actually quite useful to have. So yeah, I'll crack on and do that, and we'll try some recording.
Which he wrote for the 1984 LA Olympics, performed by the BBC Symphony Orchestra.
Okay, so just doing some recording. I've done 30 seconds of short play, 30 seconds of 40 seconds, I think it was actually, of long play, and then gone back to short play. So just get it up to sort of 2-ish minutes. And we will see how good or bad it is. Oh, I'm not recording any sound, of course. Oh, that's a bit of a pain. Oh well, let's see how we go. Nice and quiet. Ooh. Rewind and fast forward like it should be. Let's wind this forward a bit.
Good luck.
Can do the jog as well. So that's good.
Every time you say no to a cigarette, celebrate a little win.
Why there's no sound on that actually. But that's playing absolutely fine. I mean, no sound, because I haven't plugged in the audio. Let's see. Might be able to do something. I might be able to do some mono recording of audio. Do left, so that's long play. That's really good, isn't it? What a difference to like the Amstrad, for example. You get to see the difference, and this is just, I mean, it's nothing special. I'm just doing this. What am I doing this? It's not even Super VHS. So, and it's just composite. It's not even Super Video. And that is really good. It's back to short play. Gosh, that is really good, isn't it? So if I do that and record, it's a bit quiet, but it's good enough. Let's do 15 seconds of that, and then 15 seconds of that. For some reason the counter, I might have to just check the alignment of the ace head. So I think that's the original with no sound plugged in. Oh, there we go. And should get some audio through. Do we have audio? Ah, that's it. Of course it is. That's the bit I recorded. It should get a bit louder. Yeah, there we go. That's why I turned it up. Super. Okay, well, yeah, so there we have it. Like I say, I've got to go through it and give it a run. But yeah, it's working amazingly considering where it's come from and how bad it was. So yeah, really pleased with that. So I was going to sort of show off some of the facilities of it, and I still would like to do that, but I need the remote control to really show off the key reasons why these machines are so special. The one that I was really intrigued to try is the ability to be able to dub hi-fi stereo audio onto the cassettes. It has a flying arrays head on the video drum, and that enables it to actually record a hi-fi audio track over an existing hi-fi audio track on an existing recording. So yeah, I would have liked to have tried that, but I can't see that I've got any method of doing that from the front panel. So yeah, so we'll see. It might happen. I might ask Joel if he does have a remote for it, whether I can borrow it, and we can just give that a test as well. I would just give everything a thorough test, but and if that's the case, I will do a part 7. It'll be. But otherwise, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one. It's really nice to see this machine working. Obviously it needs a few bits and pieces done, but nothing major now. As a machine, this is now working, so mission accomplished. So with that, hopefully I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.